Saturday, October 21st, turned out to be another one of those days for the record books in boxing when we got a chance to see two welterweights that most have not thought much of or considered prior to the date, but they showed up and they showed out, bringing the best of what they had for this particular evening. Those two fighters were Alexis Rocha and Giovanni Santillan. These two men put on a bout that no one had any idea that it would turn out as action-packed as it had been, nor would the winner prevail in the manner of which he did. Let's talk a little bit more about Santillan and his fight against Alexis Rocha. Going into this fight, I talked about it. I said that this fight could possibly be like a phone booth war. And it didn't disappoint. We got a chance to see two combatants youthful enough to make a difference. Yeah. To make a difference in their careers and what may lie ahead. The NABO WBO welterweight championship fight between Alexis Rocha, highly touted and promoted by Golden Boy, taking on Giovanni Santillan. Now, when we look at what we were talking about going in, we saw two men who are young enough to make a difference in the sport. And Rocha, who's 26 years of age, a southpaw, was coming in hot and heavy, highly touted and promoted by Golden Boy. In the meantime, Giovanni Santillan, all 31 years of age of being a southpaw, coming in, who had had a chance to show some appearances on undercards for Golden Boy, but no one was expecting what they would end up seeing on this particular evening as these two gentlemen began to display their wares. Yes, it was a battle, people. This was the type of battle that boxing observers crave. You want almost every fight that you see to go like this. Men challenging one another in heated rivalry. And did I mention in this video yet that they are friends and have known each other, sparred together, both from that West Coast, very familiar. But they didn't fight like they were friends or even friendly. There was enough back and forth here that made you think that this is some type of a grudge match. But not by Alexis. He's not the culprit here. The man who's responsible for that was Giovanni. Boy, did he come out from the opening bell and laid leather on the unsuspecting Rocha. I mean, from the opening stanza, he was attack mode 100%. I believe it caught Rocha and his people off guard. It's like a bad day at the track meet when the gun fires and you take off the block. If you didn't get that good start, you're already coming from behind. And that's exactly what was happening for Rocha in this sense. He was battling from behind the entire time as Santillan attacked with hooks, uppercuts, body shots, blazing shots. He hit Rocha in the second round with a combination that resulted in a 45 from the southpaw position, landing flush on his face, and I believe it either broke his nose or damaged his nose severely enough that it bled for the rest of the fight. This was not something to take lightly with these two men. And now as it stands, Santillan, whose record rises to 32-0 with 17 KOs, is the man of the hour. It was a tough night at the office for Alexis. He didn't fare well at all. He never got going. And the worst part of it was when he was dropped by Santillan, he looked as if he had resignation on his face. He didn't want to get up. The knockdown occurred in the 5th round. It came suddenly. To the crowd's dismay, everyone was shocked. Not Santillan, excuse me. He walked to the neutral corner with his hands raised as if he knew that this was the beginning of the end. And we kind of knew it as well, because as Alexis began to rise from that position on the canvas, he looked as if he didn't want to get up. And his record after this defeat drops to 23-2 with 15 KOs. He looked a lot like a dejected fighter because he knew he wasn't in this battle at all. You kind of feel for a guy like that because he was unable to make adjustments necessary to pull himself back into the match. But even if he had adjusted, something tells me that on this evening, Santillan would have adjusted to his adjustments. But to cut things short, in the 6th round, Santillan put him down for a 3rd time, and the referee, Ray Corona, waved the fight off immediately. And a dejected Alexis Rocha rose slowly and went back to his corner, recognizing that for the 2nd time in his career he faces a loss. This was a tough one, very tough, because he had every intention of trying to win this fight, coming in to do his best. But on this night, Giovanni just had too much for him. A little too much. And I'll tell you, he'll need some time to recover from this situation. He's going to have to work on defense. And he's got to get some better sparring against southpaws, because facing another southpaw, he really didn't look like he was able of getting out of the way of those devastating lefts that Giovanni was landing the entire fight. But also, he's going to have to learn how to turn up the intensity in a fight, because there's no doubt that Giovanni had done that homework. He came into this fight, like I said, from the opening bell, looking to take care of business. And he did exactly that. So, as the division begins to heat up even more, Giovanni Santillan name will be out there. And he's a fighter to keep an eye on, because he's looking mighty formidable. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you didn't check this fight out, you need to go back and check it out. What a match. A candidate for Fight of the Year. Let me know what your thoughts are. Peace to everyone out there. And everyone, please remain safe.